This show is part of the Head Stuff Podcast Network.
All right. How you doing? You well? You good? How's things? You good? I'm back on the vape again. I'm smiling. And I don't care. I'm at an all-time deluded high with myself. This is great. I'm vaping, and it's great. I don't like spending all the money on it now, to be fair, but I'm trying not to think about it at all. You know? My other vices, I've been quashed, mostly. You know, I drink a bit when I'm out, whenever that happens. You know, I'm not eating tons of junk food. I'm not getting McDonald's breakfast. Not that I would be with the boycott and everything, but you know that's not really happening. So hey, to quote Terrence Howard on Joe Rogan, talking absolute insanity that I want to believe so bad. Basically, he's created a lot of these 3D geometric shapes, and he says that maths is wrong, and there's no such thing as zero, which emotionally I get. 1 times 0 is 0. Well, no. I don't feel like it is. And he's built a whole fucking... he's built a whole, formation of the universe based on that ick. Based on that hardcore maths ick. Wish I had that confidence. But anyway, he says on the podcast, he goes, he's smoking. And Joe Rogan's like, why are you still doing that? And he's like, because I'm a crackhead. Because I'm a crackhead. You need one. You need one vice. And this is mine. I'm a crackhead. And I'm like, yeah. That's just kind of reinforcing my shit that I'm kind of, whatever. And I'm about to vape. I need a little room to vape. So what's up? Close to the edge. And I'm about to vape. I know. I'll give it up. I'll give it up when I want to. Really, that's where we are. But look, how are you doing? You good? It was sunny today. Might not be sunny tomorrow. Keep tuned in for these amazing weather updates. I'm in my fucking car again here at the Bottle Bank. Bottle Bank sounds good, but really what it is a lot of broken glass and a lot of slugs. Got a slug on my finger. Didn't even wince. There was a slug on my finger. I just went, something wet and cold down there. Looked down, a little slack, little slug, and didn't even wince. I'm telling you, I'm the hardest fucking cunt in my gaff. You best believe me. You best believe me. And I'd be posturing around as such. I tell you, in terms of hyperfocusing goes, you want to talk about vices, right? I need a vice because I'm getting into woodworking now. I have no experience whatsoever, and I value my fingers. I've told you this. I thought when I was a kid I wanted to be a hand model because someone once ever told me I had nice hands once. And I do have nice hands. They're big. And I'm actually quite threatened when people compliment Killian Sunderman's hands. I'm quite threatened by it. I don't like it. I would say 23% of the value I put up upon myself is based on my hands. So I don't want to lose them, But I am going to be buying a jigsaw. And if you think that's a bloody puzzle, then you're a bigger beta simp than I gave you fucking credit for. I know. No, I did say that. I asked someone if they could borrow a jigsaw, and they're like, what kind? How many pieces? And I'm like, I'm actually talking about like a little fucking saw. That's why they call it a jigsaw, because someone cut around the pieces with a jigsaw. Posturing as I do, my big chest, my big hands. So I'm getting into that game now because what I want to do, I'm going to tell you this because Terry's like, if you talk about what you're going to do with that shed anymore, I swear. I think she even I think I was talking at her about the shed, and I heard a little. You know when you kind of cry a little bit. You know when you cry, but it's not a real cry. It's kind of, one of those. And I stopped then. But she does the same thing to me, talking about how she's going to make our house all look nice. She keeps saying. Now, I don't know if we'll ever, if we'll be in the situation. Hopefully we will. We save like we did with the mortgage to get a bit of work done on the house. Maybe sometime down the line, right? But she keeps staring off into space and being like, now see where the sun's coming in there. If we just got a bit more light there, I know you think I'm crazy, and Joey says, I know you think I'm crazy, but, and I say to you, Terry, I'm so glad you prefaced that because, I am at war with your idea of bringing more light in here. So I'm sorry, but I am going to have to put my foot down. I do not want any more. She thinks I'm like, but she just wants to, she talks about it like it's a debate. And I'm like, you can masquerade this as much as you want. I'm in on it. You just want to talk about it. And I want you to talk about it because I want to talk at you about what I'm going to do with the shed. And anyway, she didn't want to listen to me anymore, so I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a door. I've never built anything ever, right? Nothing that didn't come with instructions, right? But I'm going to build a door, and not only that, I'm going to build a door frame. I'm going to build an extra door for the shed. I've had it with these monkey fighting doors on this Monday to Friday shed, all right? If you don't know what that's a quote to do with, it's Snakes on a Plane when they play for TV. They can't have Sam Jackson say, motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. So the TV version, you can watch it on YouTube, he says, we got to get these monkey fighting snakes off this Monday to Friday plane. So I have had it with the shed door, right? I was thinking about whether I would build a big, perfectly flush sound panel because it's kind of on a step as you go up into the shed, right? So the door is longer than the actual entrance of the shed. There's kind of like a doorway, a little gap, too big of a gap, and then a step up to the streets. Step up to the shed. Step up to, the streets. Do you even know what step up one is? I'm sure you do. Chai tea is in it. Trying to get it. Don't know if he's in step up two. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing either. Why am I not? Massive blind spot on my count, my part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in that gap with a new door frame, and I'm going to build a door on the inside of the shed. All my soundproofing, YouTubing has said you need like a double door, and I don't even know if that's going to fulfill it. I'm going to use MDF. I'm going to use plasterboard, and I'm going to use a layer of mass-loaded vinyl. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to go full Philip Seymour Hoffman on you. I'm going to get a door. And I'm going to cover it in mass-loaded vinyl. And then I'm going to hurt her. And then I'm going to kill her. I'm going to put all this shit on the door. And the door... People think, doors should have 2 hinges. What I'm suggesting I do is put 5 hinges on it. Because I don't want it to... I want to maintain the weight. And how am I going to build the door frame? I'm just going to screw more wood into the existing door frame until it's the size that I want. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. Is it the right way? No. How am I going to screw it in? I'm probably going to drill it straight in with the screw. I'm probably not even going to pre-drill holes. I'm just going to screw it straight in. And I don't care if it warps. I don't care if it gets moist. I don't care. I'm just a 36-year-old guy standing in front of a 30-odd-something woman telling her that I don't have a fucking clue what I'm doing, but I know I love you. And I know I'm going to build something in this shit. And what am I going to do when I get in there? This is my fantasy, right? Now that I go into head stuff or I record the podcast in the car, it has become a space that I now want to hang out in, right? Because I was kind of thinking before that I was going to do it as an office/tiki bar. And then I'm like, tiki bar feels like plumbing might be required. I'm not going to do that. So now it's just going to be a place to put my DVDs and watch my DVDs. And this is another thing I'm going to do. Guess you won't believe this shit, right? The Kallax, IKEA, a bit of equipment, right? IKEA bit of furniture, the squares, right? See them everywhere. It's basic bit of IKEA storage, right? We've currently got 2x4 of that, right? 8 total squares. And it's too high, right? The kids can't really get out and off the top of it. And we want to have a kind of ground, just a 1x4 on the ground. And then maybe kind of in an L, an upright one as well, for the stuff that we don't really want them getting, that we can put up there, even higher, right? And that they can just take the bits as they need them. Because at the moment it's just too high, it's blocking a lot of the sun. But it would fit perfectly in an L. So so I said to Terry, I'll take that 2x4. And she's like, what are you going to do with it? I'm like, I'm going to turn it into a couch, right? And honestly. She's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's like a shelf. I'm like, no, I'm going to turn it into a couch. So I'm going to put a bit of MDF over it, because I just found out about MDF, right? With a hinge. I'm going to use it as storage. And on top of that, I have found that old baby cots, mattresses, are the perfect size. So I'm going to get an old baby cot, hopefully not used. A lot of parents try the whole cot sleeping arrangement. Doesn't work for them. They end up just being like, they bought everything, right? They got into mamas and papas, they bought the whole crib. Baby doesn't want to go in there, keeps climbing out. They're like, fuck. So you go on Facebook Marketplace, you see one, cot mattress. Never worn. Never slept in. Baby is fine. Mammy and baby are fine. Baby sleeps in bed with parent now. Baby likes to bury her feet sharply into parent's ribs. Parent's fine, but tired. €25. Oh no. And that's not a lament. That's kind of, I don't even know what oh no means. I always just look at those ads, selling hedge trimmer. Never used. €30. Oh no. Just feels like someone's being forced to sell their hedge trimmer there, Oh no. €30. I never got to use it. My wife hired a landscaper. So I'm selling. Oh no. Oh. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn this shelf into a couch. And I'll keep you posted on all this, right? And if I post something on Instagram, I only want, right? If you want to help me with this, because I know nothing, all right? And I'm going to get a jigsaw to cut some wood, I think. I don't even know why I want it. It seems like a multi-use saw that I can use to cut wood I don't have for a problem I've never encountered before, right? But I need it. So I'm going to get it. Parkside, I'm thinking, because I do the ads, I do the voice with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and ever since he told me that, you got this, I've been motivated to pick up a bit of his Parkside equipment. Also as a bit of memento for my time working with Arnie. So I'm going to spend €30 of my own money for a memento at the time me and Arnold Schwarzenegger shared a screen. But and hopefully that means it's kind of blessed, you know what I mean? Anyway, so I'm going to buy this jigsaw. What was it? How did I get? Yeah, right. So if I'm posting stuff online, and if you're like a craftsman, right, or you know what you're talking about, don't come back to me with like, that'll never work, or what you really need to do is something that's way more difficult, right? Only come to me and say, do you know what would make that easier and cheaper, and you have all the stuff in the gaff now, actually, and you could do that and it'll save time. Only suggestions I want. It's mad being a fuck around, find out kind of, I'm a fuck around, find out kind of guy. And then you kind of enter like a more dangerous space of power tools. And like, I've used the internet and Reddit to justify barely justify me eating, my old flatmate's Chinese that he left out for 2 days on the counter. And then I put it in the fridge, I don't know, to reverse the fucking half-life of it or something. I put it in the fridge thinking, right, I'll put it in the fridge now so it'll cool down. Right, so that'll probably what? So now it was only out on the... So it was out on the counter for 2 days. He didn't eat it. I've had it in the fridge now for 2 days, which means it's only probably now 1 day old. And then looking up Reddit to be like, what's the worst thing that can happen if I ate something? And they're like, I don't know, a bit. And then it's like Reddit posts being like, my daughter ate a bit of chicken that was on the counter that was there for 3 days or whatever. And I'm like, all right, well, if I work out, right, that metabolism or whatever of the kid, probably not as strong as mine. Constitution is not probably as strong as mine. That's 3 days. Mine's only 1. That's probably fine. And I ate it, and it was fine. So I've always been, which everyone does, look for the solution, look for the answer you want, really, And if you're a hypochondriac, that's the worst thing in the world. I have a headache. Ooh. You can call this the Stena line because it sounds like you're heading out on the old C word. No, I don't want to make a cancer joke about that. No, I don't like that. Anyway, yeah, people are always thinking they have like a brain tumor or something because they have a headache, and then the hypochondria will actively seek out the word. Not me though, I'm like, scroll. That seems too bad. Scroll. Didn't drink enough water today. That's it. Great. Glad I did my due diligence there, and why my ears are bleeding. So, but it's to then do that with power tools or whatever, looking up soundproofing, and then I'm like, so I've just moved on to ChatGPT. Because Reddit is a bunch of sour sports. What's it? Spoilsports. All right? Get yourself in the ads for Spoilsports, right? Spoilsports. They're a bunch of Spoilsports. Best thing to do is to not do anything at all. An animal with that kind of plumage could be toxic. Being like, fuck, I want to pick up the fucking bird. There's a parrot on my, there's a bird. Does anyone know what this bird is? It's got beautiful green and orange and red plumage. Number one comment: you're best not touching the bird at all. The common fucking parrot contains feces that can, stupid shit. You know what I mean? Let me pet the fucking bird. Sounds to me that if you're looking to put MDF and plasterboard and MLV, if you're sticking it right on top of each other with no air gap, you're basically doing nothing. Am I doing nothing really? Building a 200 fucking pound door, 14 fucking stone door, I'm putting it where there's no door at the moment is doing nothing. I'm having an argument with no one right now, but I'm telling you, let me tell you something about hyperfocus. Either give me good news or get the fuck out of my way. Okay? I have actively built cabinets with the doors on backwards when I've noticed at the point that I've only put the hinge on backwards, Like, I could take the hinge off. No. Only moving forward. There is no going back. The amount of Billy bookcases I've built in my time and put the kind of, plasterboard, the fucking chipboard on the wrong side, so that the back of my Billy bookcase is a lovely shade of white, but the inside of my Billy bookcase looks like it's the part you're not supposed to see, even has the IKEA stickers on it, right? The amount I've done, at least 2. But I cannot stop, and I will not stop. And if you're not here to help me, see, what's the way I view it? Some people are perfectionists, They're like, look, yeah, the Billy bookcases, I just need to, at some stage I just need to swap that around, It's not perfect. No, it's not perfect. I don't like it. No, Terry, don't be showing the Billy bookcase. I don't, I didn't even cover the screws with, I don't know, caulk or whatever. I don't fucking know what people do, right? People perfectionists. I know, it kind of slants at a 1 degree angle, Yeah, you wouldn't want to fill it with, whatever people do be saying. I would just be like, do you see that Billy bookcase? Yesterday, there was no Billy bookcase. Now there's kind of a Billy bookcase. That's a fucking slam dunk for me. Remember that wall over there? Oh yeah, where the Billy bookcase is. Yeah, but you remember yesterday, there was no Billy bookcase. And now there's one leaning at a 45 degree angle with a bunch of guy ropes sellotaped to the roof. So Would you consider that a slam dunk victory? I would. So I'm just trying to up the stakes. But I don't want to... Right now, education would be a hindrance in this whole woodworking project of building a new door. Education would be too slow. Right now, I just need to do it with no plans whatsoever. I need to just roughly measure the gap, find wood that size, buy a jigsaw to cut long planes of wood. And don't fucking tell me I need a miter saw or a long plane saw or any of that shit. I'm not doing any of that. If I wasn't getting the jigsaw, all right, look, here I am, right? I'm standing in front of you. If I know I probably need to get some way of planing it or whatever, right? I'm not going to do that. So would you recommend that I use the jigsaw? Or would you recommend that I rip it or tear at it with my teeth? Because that's what I would have done. I would have came at that with a butter knife. You wouldn't believe the stupid shit that I've done in my time. I found this shelf in my shed, a bit of wood, and I'm like, that'll be perfect for the inside of the wardrobes for the kids. Because at the moment we have these weird kind of like mesh baskets, and they don't work, right? They're also heavy. They were in the gaff when we got it. These weird mesh kind of drawers, right? And it's good you can see what's in the kids' clothes, but they're always just falling down. So it's basically just 4 stacks of drawers in their wardrobe that we just... If I want to get the trousers, I have to lift 3 drawers off the trouser drawer. They're just in there, right? The mesh baskets. And so I found a bit of wood, and I'm like, do you know what? That's going to be perfect. I'll just get 2 of them. And they sell these. They're part of a kind of IKEA kind of shelf. I'll just buy these things. Terry's like, that doesn't look like it's going to fit. And I'm like, I think it will. I'm pretty sure it will. Then I went up and measured it. It didn't fit at all. At all. You know, it wouldn't fit unless I wanted to have the clothes at an angle, you know. Probably a 60-degree angle. Probably not. I wouldn't want that. And she's like, what made you think that would fit? And I'm like, do you know what? Genuinely, because the wood upstairs is white and this is white. It's a white bit of wood. Genuinely, that's the long and short of it. Oh my god! In the inside cabinets, that's white wood, isn't it? It's painted white. I have a bit of white wood in the fucking shed. Went and got it. Didn't fit. All right. Now I'm like, well, what do I need to do now to the cabinet to make it fit? You know what I mean? This is just... don't give me logic. You're just going to stand in my way, right? This isn't about you. It's not about the well-being of the kids. It's not even about impressing my wife, right? I can't tell you. One of the questions I had in the ADHD quiz is, do you ever feel yourself driven by a motor? And I'm like, I can't really apply that to anything else other than like fucking like flat pack, building shit, bit of Lego maybe. Going on a deep dive to find out what the best microphone is, what the best Zoom portable microphone is, what the best 5.1 surround system is under €150, that kind of shit. Like, there's no talking to me when I'm in there. You know, when I'm in Cerebro, right? You can call me Prof X, Professor X, because when I'm locked in there, if you were to remove the helmet, I could die. So don't be coming at me with, what you really should be. Make sure you take extra care with, no. Look, shut up. I need to just build a new door. So I'm going to do that now and we'll see what happens. And when it's done, my dream is that I have a couch that is basically old baby cots. And like, I know that's silly as well. I'm probably going to be driving around to a load of houses looking at cots being like, okay, well, there's every fucking fluid imaginable on this, but how much is it? Cool, great. And then before you know it, I'm going to have baby cots in the wash that aren't drying because they're mattresses. I'm going to mash a baby cot mattress into the washing machine. And I'll probably leave it there, to be honest. And then Terry will have to try and put on a wash, and she'll pull this up, be like, what the fuck is this? And it'll be an actual full mattress in there. And I'll be like, well, I didn't know how I was going to dry it, so I left it in there, and it's been washed about 9 times. It's been in there for about 3 days now. Since its most recent washing, it's been about 3 days. I tried hanging it up with pegs, but I ran out of pegs. Because it's soaking wet, it weighs like, it weighs over 50 kilos now, so I was going to drape it over a wall. Anyway, look, it's just not going to work. So that's what I'm going to do. My baby cot mattress and couch that I'm making. And yous are going to laugh. And I hope you do. I hope he fucking does. The Mikey Graham line from Fatal Deviation. Jimmy's going to come find me. Mikey Graham chopping up gack with his Dunstores value card. I hope he does. So I hope you do laugh. Because that's my job, really. Not even that, like, I'll prove you wrong or whatever. Like, I hope you get a kick out of it as well. But yeah, if you have any good kind of, solutions, because I've basically learned everyone off TikTok, and not all of them come with instructions. I'm just kind of following what people are doing. Then I was in here in the car for about 20 minutes before I started recording, looking up how to make an MDF box. Just a box. Just a box. So, for the kids, Sonny's got a shitload of costumes, dressed as Iron Man there for his birthday. Loves Iron Man right now. Watches the same episode of Spidey and His Amazing Friends because Iron Man's in it for like 5 minutes. So to tell you, he hasn't even seen Iron Man, the movie. Mine's going to be blown. But I want to put all of his costumes in a box. Like, there's just other stuff I probably should be doing. Do you know what I mean? Normally when this happens, when this flares up, it's because I'm really meant to be prioritizing something else. I can't quite figure out what that is. Because genuinely, I feel on top of things, to be honest. I feel on top of things. Since my diagnosis, my ADHD diagnosis. Just feels like I'm not really sweating it, really. So, unless there's something I'm missing, I don't know. Like, have I like a fucking, what's it called? A dissertation due that I don't know about. Do you know what I mean? Because this is flaring right up. I mean, I am going in to recording the TV show. And could be doing heaps of prep all the time for that if I wanted to. I'm doing a lot for it. I'm hiring I'm going to have acting lessons with an acting coach. Because apparently, I only found this out from Killian the other day. He was just telling me offhand. He's like, yeah, you're meant to kind of like have an emotion in mind when you read dialogue. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you're meant to kind of like think of what kind of emotional state you'd be in or what the kind of objective would be if you're trying to get something, you know what I mean? And then I had a brief chat with his acting coach, and he was like, yeah, well, everything is transactional. All the dialogue is transactional, he was saying. So your character is always looking to get something, and there's always maybe something in the way, or someone is a kind of a stepping stone to that, and that is basically what all kind of conversation is. Even if it's just you trying to be funny, you're likely trying to be charming to get someone to think that you're charming or get someone to like you. So there's this kind of, you're kind of locked in with them. Like, this is all fucking news to me. So I'll let you know how that goes. It's happening this week. Also got a stag this weekend. Very much looking forward to it. Is my absolute fucking happy place. But I tell you what's annoying, right? It was really annoying. And look, I know how this is going to sound, right? The cordyceps invasive fungus of parenthood, of actually liking your kids, has now reached my brain, right? And there's no going back, unfortunately. I am now clicker level in the transformation of this zombie virus, right? I'm proper gaslit. I'm proper Stockholm syndrome. I like the kids and I miss the kids. And that's annoying now. So as much as I'm looking forward to the stag, which I am very much looking forward to, it isn't the same kind of like I'm release, Most of the other kind of times I've been going somewhere has been like, I just need to get to the stag so I can finally take off this fucking bra, It's been bet into me underarms now for a while. Bet into me back. I just need to take it off. And in this case, the release would be me probably, fucking, I don't know, drinking, a load of pints or whatever. Drinking a load of pints, taking an edible or something. Do you know what I mean? For release. And to be quote unquote relaxed as a man by excessively boozing. It's relaxing to me. It's not the same now. I was kind of looking forward to it. I'll tell you what I'm most looking forward to. What I love most about the stag is, and it's not even a stag thing. It's just that you hang out with friends I haven't seen. I haven't seen that much that are old friends. It's just a shorthand. Be able to speak in shorthand. I feel like when I'm at home. Do you know what it's like? It's just like I feel like, and this could be if you're with your lad friends, if you're with your female friends, with friends you've known for a long time. That whatever their gender, you can kind of just speak in that. It could even be work friends, whatever. You speak in that native tongue, you have that shorthand. You're just easy communication, right? And it's almost like you've gone back home. Do you know what I mean? You've gone back to your native country where you speak the fluent language. You live most of the time in another country, and you speak that language. You don't speak it as well. And people, because of that, don't know how bright you are. But back in fucking Mongolia, you're a doctor. Do you know what I mean? I'm a doctor in Mongolia. And here, my wife, I'm speaking this, language here. But you don't know that I'm actually a doctor. Terry doesn't know that I'm actually a Mongolian doctor. Do you know what I mean? You just think, you just see me working in Super Value because at the moment I'm just trying to get up. Go to, get the accreditation that you need to do medicine here because it's different in Mongolia. So I'm working at Super Value right now, but I'm actually a doctor and I don't speak the English language very well. But you should see me at a stag do. Do you know what I mean? No. I'll figure that out. And do you know what? When I do, it's going to be a fucking killer bit about how lads are Mongolian doctors. But yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to that. But yeah, it's the fucking cordyceps. I've gone full clicker now. I'm full clicker, maybe even full bloater. These are Last of Us mushroom zombies, by the way, because now it's properly infected my brain. I'm telling the young fella I'm not going to be around on Saturday. And he's like, why not? And I'm like, cause I'm going to a party. To be honest, I'm going to a 72-hour party. And I said, I even told him, I said, and look, I'll let you know, right? There's going to be a little ghosty coming back on Sunday. Woo! And he was laughing. And I'm like, because I'm going to be proper haunted now when I come back on Sunday. Woo! And he's like, why are you going to be haunted? And I'm like, well, I'm just going to be staying up very late, That's what I say for like getting drunk or whatever. I tell him, I was up very late. Daddy's very tired today. I was up very late last night, which is few and far between. Or if Terry has a night out for, once in every while, I'll be like, no, we're taking it easy on Mammy now because, she's out. She was up very late last night. And I think that's probably what other people do. But I actually figured it out myself. Maybe that's what parents already do, to be like, I'm hungover. Although, I think a lot of parents are like, I'm hungover to fuck right now, all right? Because I've no impulse control. Maybe they say that, but I don't. I just say I'm proper tired. So I told him there's going to be a little ghosty coming back. I'll see you on Sunday, but there's a little ghosty coming back. Woo! Proper haunted. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. Might try and find out what my friends do. Don't know if you're the same, but I don't really know what anyone does. I don't really know what's going on in anyone's life. It's just not what we talk about. I'll definitely be able to tell you what people's favorite James Bond scene is, because it's probably the chase from Casino Royale. Again, we'll talk about it again. I'll bring it up again. I'll probably be able to tell you who people's Mount Rushmore of TV aliens will be. Like, Joe's was Worf. Probably, who else would he have actually in there? Probably have a lot of Star Trek, I'd say. Worf. Who who's the Cardassian? Spock probably in there. And maybe the Ferengi from Deep Space Nine, maybe? Nah, probably not. I don't know who. I reckon I could guess 3 of them. I was 4. So I probably know all that. And that's essential. That's essential. That fills my heart, all right? It'd be great to know what's going on in your life. Great to know technically what your job is, lads, right? But I would much rather know what you're into at the moment, or something funny that happened. That would fill my heart. That would fill my my meter. But anyway, look, I am going to go out to the shed to measure a few things again. I might even post a video just to let people know what I'm thinking, and then I'll kind of post it alongside the release of this episode. And again, right? Don't come at me and tell me that it can't be done. Only tell me how it can be done easier, cheaper, or faster. Okay? So, look, thank you very much for listening to this pod. If you would like to listen to an even more unhinged, which is not going to be what my door is like. Gotta stop talking about this fucking door. See, I'm locked in. I can't believe the shit you guys have to listen to. There's been full months on this podcast when I've only talked about eating Chinese. That's mad. Jimmy salivating. I'm only talking about it. Anyway, so you had to endure a lot. The new Chinese is this door, okay? I'm a Mongolian doctor, and thanks very much for listening to this podcast. All the best. Bye-bye.
This show is part of the Head Stuff Podcast Network, a hub for the creative and the curious. Shows are produced in association with Head Stuff and the Podcast Studios Dublin. Find out more or become a member at headstuffpodcasts.com.